All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Thursday, August 15th, set today by Brummy. Let's see what Brummy has. Recent turmoil round college. Its chancellor heads for way out. All right, certainly seems like some wordplay at the start. So I'm thinking way out is the definition. Now, turmoil could indicate to anagram recent, and then put it around college can be abbreviated to C. Oh, yeah, and then its chancellor heads, the first letters of its chancellor, it will end in IC. So it's not the meaning of way out I was expecting. I think it's eccentric. So that's another way of being way out. Oh, all right. So let's try the downs. As Legolas, basking in self-indulgence. Well, I do see within self-indulgence we had Elfin. Was Legolas in Lord of the Rings an elf? I think he was, although I always thought elves were more garden gnome sized. But anyway, I think that must be it. All right, how about fancy, material, city hall, clean out. Ooh, fancy might be an anagram. We need 13 letters. Material. Material is 8 plus city is 12. Yeah, so not sure where the other letter would come from. Yeah, and is the definition fancy? I don't think it's going to be fancy material, but it could be clean out. Oh, of course, out can be an anagram. Ah, yeah, city hall, clean. Oh, so it must be fancy material. I'll try the anagram helper. Although when it's this long and we only have the first C, I'm not sure it's going to work, but let's try. Just see if I can spot. I presume the Y will be at the end of a word. Fancy material. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's not great fodder for an anagram. Now, I think I'll wait until I get another few words. All right, sleep problem, layperson's version involving cocaine. Oh, I think it's going to be a sleep problem. Narcolepsy comes to mind. So, oh yeah, I think it's an anagram of layperson plus C for cocaine. All right. Stretches and ruptures having dropped head. So I think the definition is stretches. We have to think of a longer word for ruptures and lose its first letter. I'm thinking ruptures could be breaches. And so reaches would be a stretch or to stretch. Electrical unit, Lou turned into Locke's maintenance device. I'm thinking maintenance device is the definition. What's the electrical unit? Volt, amp. Yeah, maybe it's a 4-letter electrical unit plus Lou. And maybe it could be a Locke's maintenance device. A lock has a chamber. No, how about Neanderthal man trapping game? No, we'll do one more down. Breathe in rather strange sort of element. Ooh, maybe it's a word for breathe. Oh, maybe it goes in an anagram of rather, and it's a sort of element. No, I don't see it. Back to the crosses. Volcanic landslide elicits cry of surprise in 2 ways. Ooh. Yeah, I think we may read this forwards and backwards to see. So maybe it is a palindrome. What's a volcanic lens? Is that the definition? Something to do with lava, maybe? No, how about faculty is right to welcome latitude? Faculty could be one of the senses, maybe? Is right. I mean, is the right that final R? To welcome latitude. No, don't see it. Relatively indulgent. Could it be a double definition? Yeah, I don't see that one either. I'm just not on Brummy's wavelength today. State of USA, say Idaho, not prepared to entertain negative rejection. Well, we have some great letters here with that O and the H. What's going to come between them? An S, a T, a P. I don't think it is a U.S. state. Now, Idaho, I think, is ID. Not prepared might be an anagram of not. And that might entertain. Oh, I'm thinking of actually a word that would be the state of the U.S. as an example. The U.S. has nationhood. So I think it's Idaho not are part of the anagram fodder. And we need 2 more letters to entertain negative. Oh, I think it just, yeah, negative rejection. Our rejection, I think, is no. Our negative is no. Oh, my goodness. And if you reject it, you write it backwards. So nationhood. All right. Nick's on leave to become engaged. I think we're going to put a word for Nick, which could be steal, it could be cut, could be old Nick, and then on a word for leave. And it's going to mean, I think, to become engaged. No, I don't see it. Symbols denoting items, ammunition. No, I think it may be some. We had ampersand the other day, so it could be. Could it simply be letters or numbers? But what's items, ammunition? No. Boron insulator for bum. Do I need to? Yeah, I think I need to know the chemical symbol for boron. Might be simply B, but I'm going to pause and look that up. Yes, it is simply B. So is it B plus a word for insulator? And it's going to mean bum, which of course doesn't have to be backside. It could be a hobo, or it could be a bum note, a bad note. Now, could this end in O something B? The word coxcomb comes to mind, but oh, locks, of course, locks of hair. Yes. So but I think there is a unit, a coulomb. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that, but I do vaguely remember that from my science back at school. So let me look up the coulomb. Yes, it is the unit of electric charge named after Charles Augustin de Coulomb. So I think Lou turn just means anagram Lou and put it inside a comb. That is clever. So then, yeah, we have a B, but I can't think of a word for bum. Now my relatively indulgent, no, I don't see it. How about Grant the ex-president? Well, I immediately think of Ulysses S. Grant. Less laxity. Okay, I think that's saying to anagram less. To crush democracy finally, which is the Y, the final letter, inside of US. That's a very clever clue and very topical as well. All right, spiteful as a privileged class of Americans. No, I don't get that one. TNT exploded outside ruin in Encore, area of Paris. Well, I'm wondering, no, I think arrondissement is far too long, but I'm thinking it is going to be an area of Paris. Exploded certainly sounds like an anagram of TNT, and that's going to go outside ruin. Do we just anagram Encore? Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. All right, how about rogue cries out? English not nice. Well, out again can be an anagram indicator. Rogue cries has 10 letters. But I think English not is saying to remove the E, one of the E's for English. So then we would have rogue, CRIS, and then it would just mean nice. Oh, yeah, I'm not seeing what that could be. Yeah, again, the fodder doesn't look very promising. Yeah, I'm going to leave that until I get some crossers. Let's go back to the Downs. Neglected to drive home with hamper. No, that one baffles me too. Scheme gets navy, say, to run off. Navy, of course, could be the color, or a blue, a shade of blue. Yeah, so maybe blue. Uh, oh, yes, if you run off some copies of a paper, you're printing it. So the scheme is a blueprint. Ah, all right. So let's try innocent conjecture about it'll spread. Wondering if, I mean, the IT apostrophe LL is very suspicious. Could it be an anagram of about it'll? Well, I'm not going to try anagramming it until I get some crossers. I've learned my lesson. How about like a US high-rise building celebrated in fiction? Maybe it's like a US high-rise, and it's a building celebrated in fiction. No, I don't see it. Behold, drinks retaining temperature with sun. Well, temperature I think is going to be a T. So maybe a word for drinks is going to have a T put inside it. I'm wondering if behold could be low. We've seen that before, L-O. And is that going to mean with sun, or maybe the definition is behold? No. Grave message by Englishmen, extremely mature. Extremely mature, I'm thinking, are the outer letters of mature in M and an E. What's Englishman? Could it be a grave message, as in an epitaph? What's another word for that? That might be written on a tombstone. No. Sly type, shunning wife's support. I think it's a word for a sly type. Oh, yeah, I think we've actually had something very similar before. It was a weasel. You remove the W for wife and you get an easel, which is a support or a stand of some kind. All right. Assembled sewers joints. Outstanding stuff. Assembled certainly sounds like an anagram, but sewers joints have far too many letters. I think it's going to be outstanding stuff, but that's a cryptic definition, I feel. Maybe some kind of debts would be outstanding, but I don't see it. All right, how about these ones where we now have the starters? All right, symbols denoting items. Oh, yes, of course, if you have a list of items, you would use bullets, which would be ammunition. So that was easy. Oh, that's part of our Nick's on leave to become engaged. Oh, I wonder if it's something pass. If you have leave, for example, from the army, you have a pass out. But become engaged. No. Oh, here was our rogue cries out that I thought was an anagram of rogue, C-R-I-S. Maybe I-R-R-E? English not, and then nice. No, I don't see it. And, oh, I never looked at these last two. South Pacific countries, short of one wave-making instrument. Well, I'm thinking immediately of Tahiti, and if it was short of one meaning an I, uh, either T-H-I, no, oh, well, one could also be A, but I'm thinking is it Tahit? What's a wave-making instrument? Yeah, let me just look up and see if T-A-H-I-T or T-A-H-T-I is a word. No, but maybe it's a South Pacific country and it's Tonga, but then how is that a wave-making instrument? Well, every instrument makes sound waves, but I don't think that's it. All right, how about spreading of legs on vacation mixed with despair? Well, we've seen on vacation before, meaning you empty out a word. So I think legs then would become just the L and the S. Oh, and if that's mixed with 7 letters of despair to mean spreading, I think we have dispersal. All right, does that help us? Unfortunately, just a couple of S's, but ooh, now our like a US high-rise sky something building celebrated in fiction. No, I don't see it. Here are our behold drinks. Temperature with sun. No. All right. And then our innocent conjecture. Innocent might be some word like guileless. Oh, I do like that because a conjecture could be a guess. And then about it'll spread. But we have I-L-E-L. Yeah, I don't, I don't get the it'll. Oh no, sorry, it's guiltless, of course. Oh my goodness, so obvious. So, an anagram of it'll. Excuse me, an anagram of it'll inside of guess. Oh yeah. All right. So now we have a nice G there. Insulator. What would an insulator be? For bum. No, I'm not seeing it. And here, spiteful as a privileged class. Could it be an ing ending? Then breathe in would end in a G. No. Let's see. Well, we have an E and an S for this, but otherwise doesn't really help me. Assembled, sewers, joints, outstanding stuff. No. All right, let me pause. And oh, we do have some nice letters here. So let me try my anagram helper again. City Hall clean. And it should mean fancy material. Chantilly lace and a pretty face. Of course. All right. So faculty. Oh, I think if you have a faculty for something, you have a flair. So then is right to welcome latitude. I don't quite see how that works, so I think I'm going to have to look at 15 squared. Oh, I think it's going to be fair is right, and I suppose latitude can be abbreviated to L. Yeah, when I see right, I immediately think of the R, but I think it might be fair. All right, so now let me pause and think about my relatively indulgent. It is one of my favorite words, avuncular. I like to think I'm fairly avuncular as an uncle. And so I think it's just a cryptic definition. If you're a relative who is indulgent, you may be an uncle, hence avuncular. All right. Now our Neanderthal man trapping game. Yeah, is it Neanderthal as the definition, and so we put a man around? It would have to be a very short game, probably a 2-letter game. Yeah, I don't see that. And here's our volcanic. It does begin with an L, so it could be. Is there an adjective of lava like laval? Elicits cry of surprise in 2 ways. No, I don't see that at all. And here's our breathe in rather strange. If it is going to be an anagram of rather, then that's 6 letters and we need 3 more for breathe. I don't know if air could be breathe. Rather strange sort of element. Yeah, I think it would be an adjective maybe applied to some of the elements, but I don't see it. All right. Here was our area of Paris, I think. Can I think of an area of Paris? Maybe we're going to anagram encore plus TNT and some letter to be named later. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. No, not getting anything, but while I was on pause there, I did look up wordplays.com for a 7-letter word with the B and the G. A lot of words match, but I saw blagger. I do remember that's a great word. Certainly when I was growing up in Ireland, somebody would blag things, they would bum it from others. And I think somebody who insulates things, because I do remember around our water heater we had lagging, sort of an insulated topper for the water heater was our surround. So I think somebody who puts in insulation might be a lagger, but that's a tricky one. Two sort of very, I think, British-centric terms. All right, spiteful is a privileged class of Americans. No idea. All right, ooh, we have some R's here. Sort of element. Something like hard something. No. Let me look up and see if laval, or what's the adjective for lava. No, not getting anything for that one. I did glance over here at Neanderthal man, trapping game, and I thought, oh, maybe trapping is indicating a hidden clue. And since we have an L, it would have to be HALMA. And just on a hunch, I looked that up. And it is a game invented in 1883 or 84, played on a cell board. So, yeah, I don't think I've... Well, I mean, the fact that I thought it might be the answer and I looked it up, maybe it is at the back of my mind, and I did hear about it. Maybe when I was a child, it's possible I came across it in a library book, but anyway, so that's Halma. Now we have L something H. I do think maybe the cry of surprise is aha, like Alan Partridge. The two ways might be left and right. Now I'm going to have to look up another 5-letter word. Let me check this one. My goodness, of two very tricky 5-letter words up in the top right from Brummie. Sure enough, a lahar is a violent type of mud flow or debris. And so I think primarily from volcanoes. My goodness. Oh, but now I know my element must be rare earth. And so I think it is an anagram of rather. And then the other letters are A-R-E. So is that breathe? Breathe in rather strange. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how that is working. We'll take a look at 15 squared. All right, I'll be glad to move out of this corner. Here's Nick's on leave to become engaged. Oh, I suppose if you're engaged, you're hired on, maybe. So what's a word for Nick? Oh, of course, Nick can also be prison. Oh, which could be the can. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to use wordplays.com for this one as well, see what candidate answers we have. Well, there are a lot of possibilities, but one that caught my eye was take part. And I think if you become engaged in something, you're not just standing by, you actually take part. To nick definitely could be to take. Now, how is leave? Oh, yeah, of course. If you leave someone, you part from them. Ah, yeah, so that must be right. All right. Neglected to drive home with hamper. Yeah, I have no idea. Is it going to be neglect? I think it must be neglected. To drive home could be like driving home a nail, like hammering. So I think it must be neglected as an adjective. And then what's hamper? Hamper of food or to hamper somebody? Yeah, I don't quite see. Ooh, I do see here we have, that must be an ISH, spiteful, as a privileged. Ah, yes. If you're, I suppose, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, you're a wasp, but if you're spiteful, you're being waspish. I like it. Ooh, so now behold. Oh, maybe witness. Drinks. Drinks might be wines. Oops, let's try typing it in correctly. Yeah, wines retaining temperature. And then sun is simply the final S. All right. Here's our TNT exploded outside ruin in Encore area of Paris. Yeah, let me look up areas of Paris. Ah, well, of course, as soon as I started to Google it, I thought, oh, wait a minute, Montmartre would be one of the most famous areas of Paris. So we do have TNT. We don't have Encore or Ruin. And it's really not being exploded outside. Oh, it is exploded outside of mar. So if you ruin something, you mar it, you damage it. And that goes inside Encore. Oh, which is simply more. There we go. Yes. Very good. All right. Yeah, I think for this one, I'm going to have to use wordplays.com to see what 10-letter words match this. Yeah. I don't know if I would have ever thought of this word. It is ramshackle. So it's neglected, I suppose, in the sense of a rundown place might be described as ramshackle. I wouldn't really have thought of it necessarily meaning neglected, more like as the result of being neglected. Anyway, to drive home is to ram, and if you hamper somebody, metaphorically, you shackle them. All right, we have a nice K here, assembled, sewers, joints, outstanding stuff. Oh, I think a joint in pipes, I think, can be an elbow, but maybe it can be a knee as well. Outstanding stuff. So if knees are the joints, then we need a 4-letter word for assembled. And it's going to mean outstanding stuff. Oh, the bee's knees would be outstanding stuff. But I don't see how we get the bees. There is a B in assembled, but I don't think that's it. Yeah, I think we're going to have to look at word plays. Oh, not word plays. I keep mixing those two up. 15 squared to take a look at that. All right, here's our US high-rise building celebrated in fiction. I'll pause and I'll ponder. So I ran through the alphabet thinking what might be the second letter. I got to T, and I did then think of storied. And so the US is to do with the fact that the story of a building is spelt differently in the US versus the UK. I think in the UK it's EY, and so storied, something having a lot of stories, would be EYED. But celebrated in fiction is storied, so that's a clever one. All right, let me try now my rogue cries out without one of those E's. And it should mean nice. Yeah, I'm just not seeing that anagram at all. Yeah, maybe it's an anagram of cries out English. And it goes rogue. That makes more sense. And it's going to mean not nice, which a word beginning with I suppose, naturally think of as being a negative word. Although I'm still not seeing. Oh, I think I have too many letters with cries out. No, I think it's right. No, it is too many. Where am I going wrong? Oh, do we have enough? Yeah, we don't have enough I's if it's cries out E. All right, let me go to wordplays.com and see if I can work this out. Well, there's only one word that fits this letter pattern, imprecise, which I don't see that being the answer. So I must be wrong on one of these. Let's check that. That's all right. And how about my bee's knees? Yeah, storied, that's right. And witness. So I'm going to put in imprecise, but I'm not too hopeful. Oh, it is correct. Oh, I think a rogue is an imp. Then it's an anagram of cries, and then English. So how exactly is not nice meaning imprecise? I think maybe there is a meaning of nice that means exact. But yeah, I don't think it's one people would think of. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure about that, so we'll check 15 squared. All right, here's our grave message by Englishman. Extremely mature. I don't think we can get the M and E from the extremes of mature in now, so No, of course, a grave message would be RIP. It's the extreme letters of Englishman or EN, and if you mature, you ripen. All right, so now our South Pacific countries short of one wave so just like our locks maintenance device, wave making is to do with hair, and it's tongs. So Tongas is short of one, so it is A for one. All right. All right. Was there anything else hair related in there that I missed? Or was there any other theme I didn't see? I don't think so. All right, let's do check all. Everything else seems to still be there. All right, let's head over to 15 squared. All right, the blog today is by Widdersbell. That's a new name to me for the blog. They are standing in for SC Chua. They thought it was typically fun, quirky, and inventive. Some interesting and unusual synonyms. I would agree with that. 8 down had me scratching my head for a while. Well, that was one I need to check, so I definitely have doziness. All right. Yeah, so fair is right. I suppose it's only fair. It's only right, you would say. And then 25. Yeah, just not nice is imprecise. Let's see if anyone in the comments questions that. And then in the downs, yeah, let's see this down. Breathe in. Oh, so it is ARE. So if you breathe, you exist, you are. Oh my goodness. As I live and breathe. So inside the anagram of rather. So I suppose I did get it, but I just didn't have to use the phone a friend option. All right. And then 24. Oh my goodness. Assembled sewers are bees. Wow. Plus joints, just joints in the body. Nothing to do with plumbing. So I completely whiffed on that one. All right. Yeah, I think the blogger missed that it has to be US high-rise building for this spelling of story. But I'm sure someone in the comments will mention it. Yeah, I hadn't heard of Blagger, Halma, Lahar. Our breathe was a bit of a stretch, yes. The original meaning of nice was precise, so there you go. Glad to know that. Just looking to see if anyone mentions about the American spelling of story. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, anyway, yes, so here KVA, good old KVA, storied versus storied. So there we go. Monkey questioned why the US. There we go. All right, well, thank you all very much for watching and have a wonderful day.